Well, hello there, girlfriend. Ingafay here. Super excited to be with you today. For those that don't know me, I am a confidence coach for home based business owners. And today I am super excited to share another coaching girlfriend with you. It's Lena Gosik-Wolf. She is a brand stylist and designer focusing on empowering women through equitable representation in an online business space. She partners with her clients to help them take things to the next level and rise as the go-to experts in their industry. Through powerful, purposeful branding and eliminating self-doubt and leaving them confident and owning their own space. And you guys know I am all about that. So without further ado, I'm so excited to introduce you to my girlfriend, Lena. We'll see you inside. What's up, Lena girl?
Hey, I'm so happy to be here with you. Thank you
Oh,
for
so
the
excited
invite.
to be with you as well, girl. Looking forward to talking about how to dress up your brand for success. But before we get into that, I would love for you to tell us a little bit more about you, who you are, who you serve, and how you serve them.
Totally. So, am a brand strategist and designer. My background is in art, even though my direction through business was not a straight line, as I find most people. But I work specifically with other female entrepreneurs, which is really important to me. And I work to really build brands that can initiate growth, but then also take you toward your individual business goals. There's lots of pretty things out there. There's lots of amazing designers, but if you're not doing things intentionally, looking at what your version of success is, what your individual goals are, it's really hard to get there with something that isn't done intentionally. So my mission has always been to really help women rise above expectations in our culture, in our history, and really confidently show up for both themselves and those that need them in business. Um, yeah, the strategy always comes first for me, which always goes back to each person's individual story. And I think that's what really sets apart my services as opposed to a lot of other brand experts out there.
So, Leah, I am curious, how long have you been doing this?
So this will be my 8th year in business this year. I do have that art background, like I said, but I took kind of a winding path to where I am. And a lot of that was just, I knew I wanted to do something bigger and better with my artistic skills, but I had no idea coming out of college what that was. So this has really become my way to really serve other women, and really help them toward reaching their goals and their fuller potential in life and business.
Awesome. So I'm curious, how much value does appearance really carry in your business?
Yeah, so that is something that is always kind of debated, I think, because we've all been told as kids, don't judge a book by its cover.
Right.
But your company's credibility is literally people judging it, and your audience's perceptions of your company is
Mhm.
what really forms your brand and its position in the market. So whether you like it or not, your business is going to be judged by its attractiveness. Our eyes naturally pull us toward things we're attracted to. So
Right.
having a brand that is actually strategically designed to catch your audience's eye puts you in a really powerful position. I think a lot of people get stuck on the idea of, a brand is a pretty logo.
Mhm.
And, I mean, sometimes it is a pretty logo, but it's more than a matter of style. It's really about showing your business's uniqueness, the
Mm.
quality of your products or services, and your expertise. Um, and so just like we dress up and put on makeup or, pretty clothes, however we want to do it, um, you know, that's us showing up as our confident selves in
Right.
the way we want to curate people's perceptions of us. And that's the same with branding. I mean, even women who don't wear makeup, that is in itself a statement about what they value, and a reflection of how they want the world to see, our values and for the people we want to attract to us.
I would totally agree. Totally agree. I guess it goes back to that adage: when you feel good, when you look good, you feel good, and when you feel good, you can do more. But it's just
Oh my
from
goodness.
a
Yes.
business point of view, looking good and feeling good.
Yeah, that's 100%. I always talk about how you don't need a pretty logo to really be a successful business. If you look at a lot of the luxury brands in that space, like Nordstrom or Fendi or Dior, they all have that really clean, classic, plain old type logo.
Right.
But it's how they put everything together and create that experience through everything else that really creates that high-end luxury image they have, right? So I think it really doesn't matter if you're selling real estate or makeup or making custom jackets. However it is, your customers are going to judge you based on your looks. So it's really important for you to just pay attention to how you're creating that image for them to judge by.
Awesome. So, what are some of the characteristics of a confident brand?
Yeah. So confidence is an important part of, a successful business, like many things in life. And, after all, if you don't believe in your business, then who else is going to, right? So
Right.
most people really define brand confidence in the business world as, the belief that your customers have in the quality and the value of your business, right? What you bring to the table. And it's what makes them trust you, which is what creates sales and which is what creates loyalty. And that's how you get to, build a really successful brand. But it really is more than just brand confidence in what that appearance is. So appearance is really important, but
Right.
it's the promise behind that appearance, which is really going to hold with people. And that is where brand confidence comes in. It really comes into play with, how you actually deliver on your services. If you can, show up and look professional, do you speak like that?
Right.
Do you deliver on all your promises on time? Do you have really great customer service? All of these things kind of play into how confident people are in you because of the way you show up. Doesn't, really mean that you're going to be that way. I think that's kind of like exactly like people, right?
Right.
And you never know. And that is where, don't judge a book by its cover comes in. But in business, you really have to use that to your advantage. Otherwise, it's really working against you in the end. So yeah, brand confidence is huge. But if you can answer questions, really clearly and confidently about your business, like, are you seen as an authority on your topic? So people can trust what you're saying to them. Are you delivering high quality services so people see that, your website is actually selling something that matches up, right? But it's all in just paying attention to those things and doing them intentionally.
I guess when you said that, it kind of made me think about a conversation that I was having with a girlfriend of mine. When you meet somebody for the first time, she said that you're really meeting their representative,
Mm-hmm.
that you are not really meeting the real person yet. And then over time, they eventually let the walls down and show their true self. And I guess when you're doing your business, it's the same thing. You want to have the right representative representing
Exactly.
you and your Brit in your business, and
Yeah.
making sure that's so. Talk a little bit more about that. That just came to mind when you said that.
Yeah, no, completely. I think that's huge. And I think a lot of people like to talk about it like authenticity because that's kind of a buzzy word, right?
Right.
And you do, especially as women, in business, myself, I'm, a sole proprietor. It's me. I'm selling my skill, my services. Even though I have a business brand, if
Right.
I was going to show up one way, one place, and then show off my business this way, another place, there's going to be a lot of disconnect there. And people are going to be like, wow, I'm not paying her. Right? They're going to be like, I don't believe what she's saying. That's why, there's all of the old advertising, there's a lot of studies about the whole snake oil ads they used to have. And then people would buy anything if people, presented it well back in the day. Right. But that was because there was a lack of education around it. Now in this, enormous internet space with all of this information and all of this knowledge we all have now, it's really hard to pull the wool over someone's eyes, right? So yes, you want to be authentic to yourself, but you also just have to make sure that everything lines up no matter what. I can separate myself from my business because I need to. I am not my business and my business isn't me, even though we are very closely tied. So I need to show up authentically in the way that I need to be that person for that brand. But that doesn't mean I need to include, everything about, my family and my friends. And I think that's a trap a lot of female entrepreneurs fall into. They get a little too TMI, right? You get like a little too authentic to where it's not even intentional for your business anymore. And that's what I was saying about women not wearing makeup. Like, that's totally fine. I like to wear makeup to be able to show up more confidently. There's a lot of women who are just like, no, this is me. This is what you get. And that's fine. As long as everything else represents that same feeling. Right. And I think that's where it gets really muddled in the online market, is people confuse, truth with authenticity and vice versa. You can be very authentic to your business and your brand and it not just be, a reality show.
Right.
Because that's how you're going to show up as that higher level, higher authority person when people can tell you're taking it seriously.
Right. I would totally agree with that. And one thing I wanted to bring is how you separate yourself from your business. I love that you said that, because I know in the direct sales space that oftentimes we have a tendency to say I'm XYZ consultant instead of being the person first. Because when it comes down to it, there's several XYZ consultants.
Yes.
And people buy from you specifically because they know, like, and trust you. Similar to the authenticity that you were just talking about. And making sure that when you are presenting yourself, you present yourself as, hey, I'm Inga. Hey, I'm Leah. Not I'm not XYZ consultant. It's, oh, by the way, I happen to be XYZ consultant. I'm curious your thoughts about that.
Yeah. I mean, for me, my business name is even, my Lena Design Studio. My name is in there. Right. But I am bringing a very niche spot in the market, and I am doing that work in a way that has come from a collective of my life experiences, and doing that in a way that becomes very unique to my business. It's like that collective experience that goes into how I do business, in what way and for who, if that makes any sense.
Oh yeah, it does. Makes total sense.
And so that's really showing up with that uniqueness that I was talking about before, really having my brand speak to that, which is my truth, which is authentic. But that doesn't include that I have 21 animals in my house. I love companion animals, and I work with a lot of rescues. So we have foster animals, we have a bunch of animals, but that doesn't play into that, right? Like, if you ask me about my passions and you want to talk to me about my interests, I can tell you tons, but that's not going to show up as a part of my business, because it doesn't really have any business to, being a part of it.
Yeah. Exactly. that makes so much sense. So much sense. I'm glad that you clarified that.
Yeah.
So how do people know where to draw the line then? I mean, is that where you, I'm sure, is that how you help or?
Yeah, a lot of times that is something that, with my clients, I kind of have to go in and we really lay out what that long-term vision is. That's the biggest thing for me always is, what do you want out of your business? What do you want to do as a business owner?
Right.
And then bring that back to your goals for your business and see how those connections are made. And wherever we can find, overlap between things that, this part of you is necessary to reach this goal as a bigger part of this vision, then we can start piecing things together in a really purposeful way that's going to help your brand. But if you are, just kind of a little bit of everything showing up just as, your life, that's going to look really different. So, definitely just make sure there's a consistency between everything across the board. Don't show up on social media with, your kids and vacations and all this if that's not already a part of your brand, right? Don't, have your website talk about your corporate history and, the other businesses you've worked at unless that really plays into your message and how you do your work, right? So I think it's really looking very critically on if that is an asset to your business and your brand. If that specific thing that's, going on, like for instance, with my animals, and I go back to that because I know a lot of people know I have a lot of animals, and I talk about it a lot for different reasons.
Right.
But, like I'm not going to have them on my website. I might highlight at some point that I am doing a charity event for them and a portion of my proceeds is, going to an animal rescuer or whatever.
Right.
But in that context, it makes sense. And if I'm talking about my bigger vision in my business, which, my mission and my goals are really to support other women in reaching their goals. But if I'm looking at my bigger vision, I want to grow this business so I can do more work with animal rescues and animal rights in our, justice system. And this business will allow me, to be able to make that larger impact eventually.
Right.
So, if someone wants to talk to me about that and why I'm doing what I'm doing, I will definitely be honest and truthful and authentic there. But when I'm selling my services as a brand strategist, I'm focused on you and your unique goals, your unique vision, your business, that doesn't have anything to do with that, right?
Right.
So I think that is the really important thing to keep in mind is really just think about where that connection is. And if it is not something that's going to help, it's really only going to hurt.
Well said. So I'm curious, how do you find that our brand confidence reflects our self-confidence as business owners? I thought that was really good.
Yeah, I think 100% it's about the confidence you project and the way that confidence reflects on your brand. That's really why I do what I do. It's how I approach branding so differently than I think a lot of people, because I look as a, at your actual branding, which is, how you're showing up, not necessarily the back end of your brand. Although the clarity there is what gives you a stronger external brand. But that's a whole other conversation.
Right.
But I build brands so that women can show up in their full confidence, so that you can stand confidently beside something that is true to everything you feel, right? It's all so connected, that truth, the authenticity, your mission. If you're going to show up in rags on a stage at a TED Talk, you're probably not going to show up as your best.
Right.
And I'm not saying, other websites and stuff are rags, but if you're not showing up as your 100%, like I feel really good about this. I feel really good handing someone my business card. I feel really good redirecting someone to my website because I think it encompasses everything that I stand for. And so, when there's that lack, that's when, you can really get stalled in growth. And I see that so often. People are doing amazing things, but their brand has not caught up with where they are in their growth. And that is where you keep yourself stuck by not changing things. Just because it's worked so far doesn't mean that it's working effectively for you. And so when you're showing up with the same website that you've had since you started, but your expertise is, all the way up here, you're ready to write a book, you're ready to do some major, talks and, sales events, whatever it is, that's going to be noticeable. That is going to be the thing that people notice, that difference, right? That rift between, how you show up and how your business shows up. And that is how I started. I grew up lacking a lot of self-confidence from how I was raised, and I didn't speak up much. I didn't even like to acknowledge my efforts when I knew I was really competent. When I graduated with honors, when I bought a house, even all these things that we do that are amazing, and we just brush them off as women sometimes, right? Because it's easier to just nod and smile or support somebody else. That feels more natural because of how we were raised. So when I started my first small business with my husband in the handmade industry years ago, we started that business just to do something together. We, had just gotten married. We needed a little money. We were like, what can we do together that's fun? So, of course, we started a business like crazy people, and we had no idea what we were doing. And back in 2014, there was not as much information online to help you get going with stuff. We were at the Chamber of Commerce and stuff like that, and they were didn't know what to do with us as a very small online business. Right. But anyways, I started meeting all these other ladies at all these events, and I just saw how much they were undervaluing what they were doing. And they were undervaluing themselves in the market by not charging enough. They weren't, standing up with their products saying this is going to change your life. I put, 15 years into learning this craft to do this really well, to make this difference for you. And I'm a natural questioner, so I'm asking all kinds of questions all the time as I meet these people. And I just started to realize I could help them shift that. Right. By really pointing out the value that they had, and helping them show that to, customers, or, even in their, marketing, or how they show up in person. And that was only then was I able to really reflect back on myself with that. Interesting. Which really, it sounds cheesy, but changed my life, right? Being able to say you're valuable. You are so unique in how you do what you do, no matter how crowded the market is. So let's tell that story in a way that feels good to you, so that you can keep doing more of this if that is really what you want. And that's really how I approach all of my design services with my clients. That just like every kind of step I've taken in my business, towards gaining more confidence. I'm a recently published author. I've done a lot of different speaking events. I'm starting a podcast. All of those things that I'm slowly gaining the confidence to put myself out there. That's really a whole new stage for my business too, right? And so I really approach branding with that idea of, it's not only about putting your best foot forward, but it's also, about giving you that complete confidence to step up in your business. Sorry, I get
Awesome.
really passionate about what I'm talking about, so I'm just like,
No, girl, go. I mean, I think we as women need to hear that. We need to hear that from another woman too, because
yeah,
oftentimes we do hide. I think we just kind of hide in our success. I'll say it that
yeah,
way. We
yeah,
don't acknowledge what we've done, and
yeah,
then we kind of belittle what we've done and think,
exactly.
well, isn't everybody doing that?
Yeah,
Probably not, girlfriend.
right.
You're
And
like a
so I see it
unicorn.
as sometimes we just need the right person to reflect that back at
Oh
us,
yeah, we do.
right?
We do.
And so I like to be that mirror for my clients. I like to say, look at what you're doing. It's incredible. You've told me, what your vision is. You've told me, how you do this better than other people.
Right.
Now, let's make sure that other people know this.
Know that.
Yeah.
Exactly. I totally agree. I totally agree. We need to do more empowering of each other.
Yep.
I think that's why it's so important to be around like-minded women specifically
Yes.
to help us support one another. Because I know, like for me, I was in a male-dominated field for over 20 years. I didn't have a whole lot of girlfriends. I mean, even just
Yeah.
growing up, because I was a tomboy from the beginning.
Yeah.
So just being able to have that camaraderie and sisterhood, and someone saying, girl, you got this, you can do this, you
So
got
much.
it going on.
Yeah, when I started, I thought working for myself by myself was the jam, right? I thought I had reached it. And then I was like, I am so lonely. I'm stuck. I don't know. I can talk to my husband, but he loves me too much to the point where he'll just yes me and be like, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Good job. And I need people who are real, right?
That's
People
right.
who
Tell you the
who are
truth.
in it
You
with
don't
me.
need yes people. You need people to tell you the truth, girl.
Yeah,
Look.
like we all need to raise each other up. Everybody needs
do.
that, right? They need that boost.
Yep.
And we need validation too. And I think that was something that I thought was like a dirty word for a long time. I thought me needing that external validation to say like, you did a great job. I thought that was like such a bad thing to need, but I've realized that's how we can acknowledge our growth, is that reflection of somebody else saying like, yeah, you did it. You did a good job.
Right.
And I think that makes such a difference in whether you can succeed in business or not.
I would totally agree. So, girl, before but let me ask this. Do you have any final thoughts? Because I know you have a freebie that you wanted to share with my audience, but I just wanted to kind of ask you if you want to kind of just bring it all in.
Yeah,
together.
no, I mean, the biggest thing is just really taking a look either back or forward. Branding is a lot of perspective. You have to have that big picture vision to really serve yourself well in business when putting your brand together. And it's not a one-time thing either. And I think that is a mistake people make is, I've got branding, I'm done.
Right.
It's something that needs to evolve with you. And that is why even huge businesses will rebrand or will tweak things and change things, because that's how the market goes, and that's how business goes as you pivot or grow. When you hire more people, does your mission still connect with everyone you've hired? What direction are you moving in now? What's important to you at this time, to really meet that bigger vision, and look at how your brand serves you in all of those ways. Right. Because if you lose track of what you really want as a business owner, that's when things really start to fall apart. That's why being able to be really confident in what you're putting out there, being able to be confident in your products or services that you're putting out there, yes, 100%. Right. That goes back to that authenticity and trust. Just being truthful is a huge thing. Right. But, being able to confidently stand up and say, this is my business, this is my gift, this is what I have to, offer you. That is something so huge. So really just focusing on building something you can believe in. Right. I think that's the biggest thing.
I would totally agree. Totally agree. Okay, so tell us about this freebie, girl.
Yeah, it's something I've been working on for a while, and I'm so excited to be able to share it now. I've always loved a good quiz since, teen magazine days and stuff. Uh, but, I really wanted to make it something, helpful. There's a lot of fun quizzes out there, but I wanted something that, if you're going to take your time to do this, I want it to be impactful for you. We don't have time to waste as business owners. So
Right.
this quiz, the brand confidence quiz, is all about kind of self-reflection, doing that job that I was talking about, that mirror back at you, but kind of being able to walk yourself through it and look at how your brand is affecting your growth in your business. And kind of giving yourself perspective on, is this doing what I need it to do at this point in time?
Right.
Plus it's a quiz, so it's fun.
Awesome.
But yeah, no, I mean, really, I've seen a lot of people just come through it and be like, wow, that was 3 minutes well worth the time, because it does give you a lot of fresh perspective that you're not expecting, coming from an online quiz.
Awesome. Well, you guys, hey, indulge in the quiz. I'm sure that it will be enlightening to you if you take the time to reflect and really answer the quiz truthfully, because I think sometimes people do things just kind of haphazardly. Yes,
I think that's a big thing too.
Yeah, you got to be true to you. Yeah, for you to really get something out of it, you get out of it what you put in it. So make sure that you truthfully answer the quiz, and then I'm sure if you want to work with Leah further, that you can get. I'm sure the quiz leads you. They find out how to connect.
You'll find me that way.
Awesome.
It'll connect us. Take a quiz. I'll be in your inbox too.
Awesome.
See my face. We can connect. I just love being able to meet new people too, and really just hear all of our stories and how we got to where we are. So definitely do not be afraid to connect anytime.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us. And for the audience, I appreciate you watching as well. If you know of anyone that you think would be a great person to interview on my channel, by all means, let me know. Shoot me a DM or, reach out to me on social media. That will be down in the description as well. And Leah's information will be down in the description. Let me know who you would love for me to interview, because you guys know I'm all about helping you succeed in your businesses. And as always, thanks for watching, and bye for now.